Welcome to PAO Fans International. We're in our second season, and tonight it is just Nick and myself. Panatha fan just can't make the first few episodes, but he'll be back and he'll be roaring with his insights and wisdom. But Nick, I won't say it's been a long time because we did catch up, me, you, and Panatha fan as of recent in person again. But we're back here. Welcome.
Thank you. Season two, back up and running, and things have kicked off. It never really died down, did it? Over the off season,
No,
it was
no.
one after the other, right from the cup final.
Yeah, from the cup final, that's when it all began. So the highs of the cup final and failing to capitalize on those highs. With that, there is a big episode. There's plenty to talk about, especially with what has happened, what has not happened, and what might happen. So let's get straight to it. So with the what didn't happen, Sadi that dragged on for far too long, which became pretty much almost at a certain point that it was not happening, but we're still going back. But coaching, we do have former Seville coach Diego Alonso. What do you think of the Diego Alonso appointment?
Uh, Look, now the way it is, we've got no other option but to support the guy and hope for the best and hope that his attacking style is going to work wonders for the team. At the time, obviously, when you go from Sari to Alonso, of course, it's natural to be feeling let down, as I think we all did at the time. Didn't going to now. We've just got to support the guy as fans, and the club's got to really pull their finger out and get some signings in for him. Look, Schenkerveld also mentioned this as well, and these are things we saw. If you cast your mind back, his opening press conference, he loves the attacking football, very vertical, up and down, high press, high energy. So the players he recruits, especially in the wing spots, are going to be very important. And as Schenkenveld mentioned, he's very humble was the word he used. Like he's spoken a big game, what he wants to do. Like he's obviously mentioned 14 years without winning the league is a long time, as his predecessor did, but he's gone about it in a different way, you can say.
Yeah,
And for him, look, for him as well, what happened at Sevilla, it's quite well documented there. He walked into a sinking ship there. This he knows this is his last chance. If he wants to make it in Europe with a coaching career, he's got to prove himself now in Greece. Mexico was the last success he had really on the coaching front. I know he took Uruguay to the World Cup, which uh, from South America, you expect them almost always to be there. It's just the fact that they didn't get out of their group in the World Cup.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I remember not taking the news too well because you're talking Saudi, you're talking about this big budget that you've got. Um, then the Saudi thing just dragged on too long. And then
Yeah.
when you go in Diego Alonso and when you looked at his previous coaching gigs at Inter Miami, Sevilla, not too good. But when he came into the press conference, I thought he was well spoken. He's got obviously a tactical approach, which is more of the modern day style is with that kind of approach. He favors the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1 with speedy wingers, hard-working wingers that are fast-moving midfield as well, constant pressing. So similar to an Ike style, but not as high line defensively. Um, so with that, we things haven't translated too well in the preseason. We'll go later on when we talk about it, but I think his style hasn't suited the players that we currently got. Few attributing factors to that at the moment. Injuries, the Euros, aging squad, something that I've been saying we need to get younger. I think with
That's the big factor, isn't it? It really, because the aging side, like, take the two prime examples that are on big wages, Vilena and Zudisic. They're both over age 30, and they're both not able to play that fast style, attacking style, high energy, high press that he favors.
Yeah, so they haven't really shone at all during
No.
the preseason. Um, so there's obviously a few question marks around how we will perform. In a few days' time, we'll see in our first official match what that looks like.
All we can do now is hope for the best. It's crazy if you back then with the Sari news when the cup final finished and all that, we knew we needed a left back to come in. No left back. We're down to bare bones there. Just Mladenovic, who's had a short preseason coming off the Euros. We knew Bernard was going. We knew we needed wingers. No wingers come in.
And you would find that I've been calling for a left back since December.
January. Yeah.
December 28th, I've got it documented. I was calling for we need to prioritize a left back, and here we are, almost what 7, 8 months later, and we're still without a left back almost. So Gortidas can fill in. He's been playing the preseason a bit in
Yeah.
that left back spot as well. So there is a little bit of cover, not natural, but we'll get to that later. Also in other off-season news, so it was confirmed that we will no longer be playing at Leofordo. Owaka will be our home stadium. The last Leofordo game was against Maccabi Netanya. From now on, we will be playing all games, domestic and European, at Owaka for the foreseeable future. Um, Not really a fan of it, to be honest. It's a big stadium, what 80,000 capacity. It's gonna feel at times, especially with the lack of enthusiasm so far in the off season, lack of results, the disconnect between ownership and fans. There's the disconnect. You can't really blame the coach. Ivan did have a good rapport with the fans, but he's no longer there. We're gonna be looking like playing like a graveyard most of the time, especially if we're not playing too good, if we're going backwards essentially.
That's the thing. I remember almost a year ago looking so forward to those games against Villarreal and Braga at home in the European competitions. We got one coming up at home this week. I know it's not a group stage or league stage game, but Botev Plivdov. I know that Botev Plivdov's not Braga and Villarreal, but I don't want to. I'm scared of what the crowd figure is going to be.
Yeah, middle of summer as well, so people most might be on their
They'll
holiday.
be lucky to crack 10,000.
Yeah, so we'll see what kind of response the fans give, because even in our preseason games, even at Little Fordo, it looked pretty empty. So let's see how the fans respond to the European game as well.
Yeah, and it's what you said as well. The no atmosphere come the winter months when we're playing those league fixtures against the likes of Lamia, Panseraikos, Asteras, and the like. It'd be less than a couple of thousand. Those midweek games on a Wednesday night in December, January, etc. Forget it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the significance of having your own stadium or a fan loved stadium. So to play in Osaka is not really ideal for the fans.
Oaka, we were saying this last year. Oaka's only good when it's sold out or close to a sellout.
Yeah,
If it's not, if you haven't got at least 40,000 there, forget it.
exactly, exactly. And with our off season, so we'll start with the players that have departed us as straight off the bat. So we'll go Palacios, Juanca, Bernard is the big one as well. Who else has left us as well?
Uh, No, I was going to say Glenn Hazler, but he's still technically a
He's on our
Buck.
books. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's on
he's
our
on the
books.
books.
I
Ooh,
and obviously the loan signings are gone. So Vitor
Xenopoulos, keeper.
Xenopoulos, yeah, he went to Kifisia. Yeah, I don't think there's been any other notable club exits as well. So we still have quite a few players on our books at the moment. Brignoli officially was
Oh yeah,
rumour to like. Um, he's doing so well there with his couple of wonders. Um,
As soon as you mentioned his name, I started laughing. They're some fucking howlers.
yeah, so I don't recall anyone else. Obviously, I think Toro was on our books. He's I think off our books now. Um, and we could talk about the arrivals as well. The big snap up was Maximovic, which we had announced during the season on free transfer. Baldock, we we signed Jedvai, so we made that as a permanent signing. We also made Drakowski as a permanent signing. We brought in, did I say George Baldock? We brought him in for free transfer from Sheffield. And as of recent, the last one was Ing, who's big signing. Solid player, solid defender, comes with a lot of Greek league experience, and he's quite the presence there.
Very pleased with Maximovic we spoke about last year, but we can say it again. Very, very pleased with Maximovic coming in, and also now Ingerson. They're the two big ones so far. And of course, you need that bit of continuity in key positions. So Gedvay rewarded for his strong form the back end of last season. We couldn't. Yeah, it's something we said last year. We can't go too gung ho with the ins and outs. So he's a good player. If you pair him with someone like Ingerson, especially, I think as well, and Dragovski as well, he was fine. And good competition actually going on there. It wouldn't shock me if Digging gets the start on Thursday.
Yeah, I think they've been both playing fairly strong as well. So it's up to let's see with the coaching. I think Dragowski will get the nod though.
But the other one's Bulldog. Dora, he had disrupted. He joined the squad late. Remember, Sheffield United wouldn't let him train with the squad until July the 1st.
And the
Hasn't
Bulldog
has
one,
he played? He was
no,
injured. He had a calf injury.
yeah. So he's still nursing. He's still just in rehab, and it's a strange signing because he he's
Now
essentially
it is.
yeah, he's essentially the third right back that we've got. So we've got Vayanidis, we got Gortiras who renewed, and we've got Bulldog. So and Bulldog wasn't a recommendation from the technical director. This was something that Terry wanted to build a Greek squad. So going above Papadimitriou, him and Alafouzos bring in Bulldog. I don't know what for. Now we've got three, and it looks like, and we'll discuss soon in the room. It looks very likely that Vayanidis will be gone. So,
That's the thing now with this upcoming game. I know we're not doing a match preview right now, but we spoke about the left back only having Mladenovic at the moment. The right back, if Vayanidis is close to going, is he going to play? Probably not. Bulldog's injured, so you're left with one right back. Kotsiras.
yeah, so,
It has not been. There's never a dull moment. We know that, but it has not been smooth sailing
and it's something
this
that
off season.
you have to be mindful. It's something that Diogo Alonso is inheriting as well. So that's something to keep in mind when, you know, these
And he
players.
wouldn't be. He'd be on decent money, Bulldog. He wouldn't. He'd be on well over €500,000
Yeah,
a year. Well over, probably closer to 1 million.
he'd be on that 1 mil mark. So
Yeah, around. I reckon around that million.
still a bit of a head scratcher, that one. So yeah, let's get straight to that room because we're discussing Bayanides. So out of nowhere, a day or two ago, reports came from Brazil that uh, Botafogo is interested in signing him for 6.5 million euro. Um, that came out of surprise, but they're under a ownership group which have Leon, I believe. Who else is part of it? Fulham, I believe, under that
Oh,
ownership.
okay, yeah. I didn't know Botafogo was a part of it, but I knew Leon and Fulham were
I think
a
it's
lot.
Fulham or Crystal Palace. It's one of the two teams, yeah.
No, no, I don't think it's. I don't think it's Palace.
So it's a strange one, but he's very likely to go. So they've promised to give him that 1 million euro, and if we're led to believe, he's only on that around,
He's on a development deal. Yeah,
yeah, around 90,000 euros. So the offer. suggested is 6.5 million euro, where there's unconfirmed reports on the sell-on fee that Inter
Mm.
Milan has. It's been reported anywhere between 25 to 40% sell-on fee that Inter Milan will be owed. So we'll be looking at that figure very interestingly. But looks like Vayanidis is happy to move on. It is big money for him. And with the unknowns, especially having three right backs. The club, I don't see Diego Alonso operating with three right backs, and you can't get rid of Baldock's. And Cortinas just re-signed, so it looks like we'll be losing one of our promising young players who, gets to live his dream, get it's his big money move,
What
and
what
then
what dream? We'll get on to what it means for the club, but the player side, like you can't say it's his dream to go to Brazil. Surely not. He's
no,
the
but
second Greek. If he goes, Samaris was the first. He'll be the second. I know. Look, the league's probably on development wise, it's probably much better than our league. They got talents galore playing in that league, but the eyes, the coach of Botafogo was the coach of Braga last season. That's where he spotted Vayanidis. What I'm trying to say is there's more eyes on Europe in the European leagues and the European tournaments and all that, rather than this Brazilian league.
yeah, but with the scouting, with that ownership group, it makes
You're saying Leon eventually.
could go to Lyon. Yeah, it just makes sense really on their end to put him in the league, get that defensive work up because Brazilian league's not known for its defensiveness, and he's not the best defensive
That's his
player.
weakness.
That's probably his downside, but I think for him, if he's guaranteed a starting role and get 10 times the money, it's a dream move.
That's where the club screwed up. And we might have mentioned this last year. They wait too long to in normal circumstances, he would have had a new contract in October, November last year, upgraded because he was performing well around that time.
Yeah.
He
So
would have had a new contract, and if money's the issue, that now why he's so happy to leave all of a sudden, I put the blame on the club for that.
yeah, it was up until he was on fire up until the injury. I think it was against maybe Pasianen or Lamia. I think it was Pasianen away where he got the injury.
And for the club now, we talk about the European list and the quotas and the club trained players and the Greeks. He's the only one from the academy. It's a disaster.
Oh, there's a few. There's a few. There's
But you know what I mean? He's the
yeah,
only one
but
that will actually play.
yeah. So it's a bit of a shame. So that's the renewal. He hasn't departed as of yet. Other departures, there's Kleinheisler. There's a few question marks around Tokai, um,
So,
potentially
yeah,
Actor, potentially Verbic. We
Sporar,
Sporar to Slovan,
Slovan.
Bratislava, so
Yeah,
where he's pretty famous there, just having a previous stint there and did well. Um, that one they believe will happen after this tie, which I think both sides of the fans will be happy with that. So um, there's that. We don't see Juricic or Vilena leaving. They're on big contracts and they're not performing. I can't see any club paying that kind of a contract.
no, we're stuck with him for the foreseeable. But what I was going to say before when we mentioned them is the hope is guys like Maximovic, Sarao, and Sedin start ahead of him.
There's that, but Juricic has been playing on the left wing, so he might be
Yeah,
having a
as a
new
backup.
spot there. Yeah, he might have a new spot there. So interested to see that. He's failed in that number 10 role, as Vilena has in that midfield holding type role as well. So they just gas out. They're just not adapting to the Alonso style of play well compared to other players.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting times ahead.
There's also rumors still about Bart. You don't know what's going to happen with Magnussen, especially with his injury. They reckon he won't be ready until September.
Palmer Brown
Palmer
won't be
Brown,
ready soon because he hasn't played the friendlies.
no. But I reckon Alonso does like his style of play. So
Yeah.
let's see if he does go on loan to just get that fitness back up and then come back.
Well,
That's
we've got 5 centre backs now.
yeah. So
Granted, two won't be fit for August when the season starts.
that's one to look out for as well. So yeah, they're the rumored players out. The player in list and
Oh,
yeah,
you didn't mention the elephant in the room for player out. Look, if I'm a betting man, I think he's going to stay, but it's not over yet. 40.
yeah. I think that one's died off. He did come out and say he wants to stay at the club for one more year. Bologna and Sporting have made multiple offers, not matching the club's evaluation. At no point that have they met the club's valuation. They keep coming unders. Sporting even offered Alexandropoulos, which we
Yeah.
shut that down straight away. It was I think
How about the Portuguese media framing it as if Forty wants to get out and he's unhappy and we're the bad guys for holding him hostage. That made me laugh.
yeah, yeah. Their media is pretty funny. So even on the Bologna side, so both papers, Italian and Portuguese papers, making us we're the bad guys. They've come to Greece to make the deal, but we're
We're
holding
under no
them.
pressure to sell. Money's not an issue. Well, it appears it's not an issue right now. He's happy. Not once has he come out and said he wants to leave. It's
No.
different. If he goes to the club and says, I want to leave, then we've got a situation on our hands.
And that's when we will probably grant it. But it's also worth noting that in the plays in that we did, I don't know the exact fee, we did pay out Levedakos for that share, so we do
Yeah, I
have
don't know. Hey,
100% ownership of Forty, which is good for us as well. But yeah, it's interesting to see these developments with Forte. It happened really, the news was springing about a week and a half ago, and all's gone quiet on that front. Ipswich came out, but I don't think it's worth him going to a club that's
no.
most likely going to get relegated. He's waiting for more of a stable mid-table English club to really come knocking.
That's my worry. If someone comes the last week or two of August, like one of those stable Premier League clubs, that scares me.
So but that this one's going to be one to look out for in the summer. Um, but players in there's we've gone through a whole list. We also like a Sari saga. We had the Yanulis
Yeah.
saga where we just waited for his response. He just dragged the club around. Um, his preference is to play overseas. There was rumors he was almost signed a deal with Augsburg, but I don't know what's happened
No,
with.
not yet. No,
I
no.
came in with a big offer themselves. We're still desperate for a left back as well. So I hate to say this, but I don't think that we've heard the last of Yanulis to
You reckon?
Panathinaikos. That's my that's
Okay.
my
I think no chance now.
I think
Okay, interesting.
I've got a feeling we haven't heard the last of Yanulis to Panathinaikos at the moment, which is why we haven't really secured the left back. There's been a few names. One solid name came out of Italy through Di Matteo
But
was Martin, the Spaniard from Genoa, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah, it seemed like a reputable. He seems like a reputable player. 25, 27, I believe, around there.
yeah, 27, 28. Yeah.
Yeah, so that one looked decent, but
Enzo Diaz, Argentina. I think River
yeah,
played
there was a
him.
few, there was a few
There
names
was
around.
a Bozzo, if you remember,
Yeah,
famous.
also, yeah, the Portuguese. He was very highly valued by Lucescu a few years ago. Almost signed, but the club pulled out. Not too sure if how official that is due to whether it was fan pressure because there was a big outcry with what happened with Giannulli. So yeah, once again, this is just pure rumor mill. In the wingers, there's a lot of speculation. The three names, four names. Let's go with four names. The big one is Pelistri from Manchester United to get on loan. That one is a big one. He's Uruguayan, has a good relationship with Diego Alonso, and it's reported that Panathinaikos are holding talks with Manchester United, and there've been positive talks there. So one to look out for. There's also Ruben Vargas from Augsburg, Swiss international. He had a decent Euro campaign, was part of that squad, got on the score sheet. There's also, they reckon, a little bit less likely due to what the asking price is Jota Silva, I believe,
Yeah.
from Guimarães. They're holding out for 12 million euro. No one believes he's worth that much. Um, and they're cash strapped as well. So, but he's been offered to a few clubs around Europe as well. From
Yeah, Roma and West Ham.
so,
If we're competing with them, good night. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't think that one is likely. And there's been two long drawn out names. Pavon from Gremio, Argentine. He's former Argentine international. He's 28, but not too sure if he'll get another look in. And Antuna, I have to mention that name. That one's very unlikely. There was, I think the Mexican media is just blowing things out of proportion that he almost signed for Ike, but doesn't look like that was ever the case. So it's like they're begging for something to happen with him, which has not eventuated.
A lot going on. As you said, we on the winger front. Felicity, you're the best to talk about him, being a Manchester United supporter. As you said, the talks were positive. Alonso has a great relationship with him. He gave him his international debut for the Uruguayan national team. He fits his style with that work rate, fast, high energy, attack minded. If we get him though, do you reckon it's going to be a permanent? I'd prefer a permanent, but I'd take a loan right now, even if it's loan with an option to buy it.
It's gonna
That
be
that'll do.
definitely loan with the option
I
to buy.
definitely loan, is it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
loan with the option to buy. Because he's running down his contract as well. So
Where was he last year? He did quite well. You and I think Argy was saying
Granada.
Granada. He
Yeah,
did
he was
well
at
there by all
Granada.
accounts.
But for me, I don't think Ten Hag has really given him a lot of chances and a lot of game time. He has opted for players that he has signed that have underperformed. He's given ample opportunity to Anthony. He's given ample opportunity to when he was playing and was with us, Sancho. I just feel I think he would feel that he hasn't gotten the love. He hasn't felt that same love where Ten Hag has put trust in him.
But you'd think though, if he comes to Greece, he'd be a phenomenal signing. He'd be one of the first names on the team sheet, and he'd go quite well.
Yeah, 100%. He'd be a stud, young, skillful.
Yeah.
He's played well for Uruguay whenever he's played for them. So not too sure about the Copa America recent performances, but prior to that, he's fast, he's energetic, he's skillful. So there's a lot to like from him, and him coming to the Greek league will be huge for us. It will be for him a move to get that confidence, showcase to
Yeah.
Europe what he can offer when given the opportunity. So, especially if he's trying to fight for a contract, play for a contract somewhere, he's going to showcase and go all out. So, if we can get him, that's going to be one of the biggest signings because we're bringing a player in his peak. I probably have brought in the biggest player so far with Lamela, but
Past his peak.
he's 32. So, if we're bringing Pelistri, this is a bigger signing in my opinion, based on what he can offer. Not let's not go in what
Yeah,
he's
names.
done in the
Yeah. Yeah.
past, whatever, because yeah, that's fine. But let's see what they both can offer. I think Pelistri will offer a lot more.
Yeah, no, Leoforos in his recent YouTube video was saying the same.
So it's definitely a name that is worth getting excited about.
That's if we can land him, that's the first domino, land him. then get a left back, and then get another winger for the other side of equal quality. That would be the dream.
And probably going to need a forward as well. Let's add
If
that to it.
Sportard goes, they'll get a forward for sure.
Yeah,
They're not going to play with Yeremeyev and Forty. No, the two of them, no way.
exactly. Exactly.
Look, if it's Bellistri and Vargas, I'd be happy with it.
So yeah, exactly, exactly. They're the top two. They're the top two. But the thing is with our player signings is it's the players that just get announced out of nowhere. They're the ones that
Yes.
come. Ingerson was out of nowhere. No one saw that one coming. It was just like last minute that the manager was there.
Yeah, no, that's a really good, isn't it? The Ingerson, we haven't spoken about that enough. I don't think that's a really underrated piece of business. Not only have we got him, we did it, as you said, under the radar. If Ike and Olympiacos got a whiff of that, they would have tried to hijack it for sure.
Exactly.
And
So
last season, remember I was saying Magnuson when he did his ACL, we're going to struggle to replace him, and the defense is in all sorts and all that. We never had a leader to build the defense around. It got badly exposed last season. Ingerson is that guy.
exactly. So like I said, yeah, it's the players that we do sign eventually are the ones that are announced out of nowhere. But there is that obviously long talks with Manchester United with Pelistri, so that one obviously is one to look at. But it's typically the ones that we don't know the players; they just come out of nowhere.
Look, Pelistri, I reckon if I'm a betting man, I think that happens, which would be huge, as you said. I think Forty stays. I think Vayanidis goes. Then, as you said, for the other winger, I think it's going to be a name we don't even know right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be one that we're seeing in the media. So
And let's ditto for left back. You can put a line through Enzo Diaz and probably Martin.
yeah, yeah, I'm not putting a line yet through Yanulis. The longer he stays unsigned from that German club.
I
This
wouldn't know how to feel,
the
honestly.
longest the longer it stays unsigned, you can't rule it out.
I wouldn't know how to feel. I'd be not angry, but
I don't,
I wouldn't know how to feel, honestly.
I'll just laugh. We can do a podcast where we just laugh and that's it. Uh
It's his loss. He could have come in and been ready for the start of the season if it ends out that way.
exactly. He was just really holding on to that European move. All right, preseason. It's been mixed results. Let's go through them and then we can discuss. So we opened up against like a farmer team. I
Yeah.
think it was like 17-0,
14 nil.
14-0. Yeah. Then we came up against Paphos, which was going to be our first test. Paphos finished, I think, second or third in Cyprus. Very
They
defensive.
won the cup.
They won the cup, yeah. They finished, I think, third, and they won the cup to go to Europa. They beat Omonia in the final. We drew nil with them. That was our first real hit out. So I wasn't too concerned with that. We had a scheduled match originally versus a Polish mid-table Polish team, which got cancelled. Then we played against a second division German team that barely survived. Now, this is when alarm bells started ringing and we lost 1-0. That's when alarm bells started ringing up straight away. See it on socials, everything where
Everywhere.
mass uprise, and I think that's coincides with the Yanuli Cerebotol news as well. So that timing there as well. Then our first game in Greece, Panathinaikos hosted a Larnaca. We won 3-1, courtesy of two screamers from Bakasetas, his return, and a beautiful team goal. I enjoyed that, courtesy of Vayanidis getting at the end
Yeah.
of it. And then we finally played our last game against Maccabi Netanya, and we won 1-0. They are a mid-table Israeli team, courtesy of Mancini. Do you want to kick off discussions of what you saw in preseason?
Mixed is the word. Look, my big concern from this preseason is the fact that really, who have we tested ourselves against? Who's our strongest opponent that we faced? Ike Larnaca, Bafos, Maccabi Netanya. Last season, we were playing Rayo Vallecano. They came to Leofordos and they beat us. We haven't tested ourselves this preseason. That's what scares me. We truly we're going into this Botev Plivdov game with literally no idea how good or bad we're going to be. Mixed is the word, as you said. My big hope is that the guys that played, especially in that game that where they lost to that German side, as I said, hopefully in midfield, for example, it's no Vilena and Zurisic, and hopefully that's probably a good discussion point there because Bakasetas doesn't really fit into the Alonso mold if you think about it. Our best midfield, what is it? Maximovic at 8, Arao at 6 with Tserin. I don't know. You'd probably need more of an attack mind with Bakasetas there.
Yeah,
One out of those four will have to miss out every game.
there's a few good points that you make there. Sorry, Terran. Sorry, we also forgot to add Terran was linked with Dinamo Zagreb, who
Oh yeah.
bidded way unders, nowhere near the evaluation, considering they still plays for a fair bit. And yeah, but you raise valid points about what we saw in the friendlies was a team that looked unprepared. They didn't they did not look like they were suited for the Alonso ball style play. It looked slowly happening, but the fitness is just not there. Vilena died out after 20 minutes. Jurisic was gassing. Mancini was gassing. A lot of our players were gassing.
Mancini can fit the style though. If he can get his fitness up, we saw it. That was a really good goal he scored against Maccabi Netanya.
The thing is, the Euros, strangely enough, was our biggest disruptor. We had five players. Even before the Euros, we had 40 have a pretty severe arm injury, which has kept him out as well. Before when they played Germany, so that hasn't helped. So we've had 40 injured and still not ready. We had five players out. Jeremejeff has been the leading striker in the friendlies, and he hasn't scored since that 14-0 win that we got, that big
And he'll
score.
start on Thursday. He's going to start.
Yeah, yeah, and he hasn't looked too impressive in preseason either. He's had opportunities, but he's just not putting them away. Um, yeah, you can argue preseason isn't about scoring, whatever. It's about fitness, whatever. But if you're a striker, you have to put those chances away, no matter if it's preseason or match day 13. You as a striker should have the quality enough to reassure your teammates and the fans that you can score goals. Because at the moment, we had two screamers scored and a good team play. We haven't really done a whole lot in terms of build up, playing, everything like that,
No.
looking good because
If anything, it's the opposition having chances at our goal.
yeah, and I'll come defensively where I'm a bit worried, and it's gonna tie into the European game, but um we'd been gassing after 30, 40 minutes. So in our last friendly, we looked good against whatever they called Netanya, Maccabi Netanya, up until like the 30th minute, and then from there it just fell apart. They missed two, three big opportunities.
Yeah, yeah.
And where our worry was, it was between Bart and the right back, whoever that right back was playing at that time, whether it was Gortilas or Vaya, we absolutely struggled. I don't know if the communication was breaking down, or we just were not fit, or the quality is not good. We just looked very vulnerable, especially in that pocket there.
Yeah, that's it. Goes back to we hope that our best quality players are ready for this game on Thursday, in every position. We know certain players that the European list has come out. We know certain players aren't on there, but we hope like Schenkerveld, is he really in our top two centre backs, for example?
Probably the
For
only
me, no.
big one though that realistically.
Yeah,
So yeah, look, and we'll come up to the preview of Botev Plivdov. So we'll start off first with the breaking news that Panathinaikos or Botev Plivdov will face the winner in the worst case scenario between Ajax and Vojvodina, the Serbian team. Um, so not a great scenario for us. Just by name, Ajax should be a bit of a worry, but they finished fifth in Holland last season, and they haven't really brought anyone in. They've only made, I think, one free transfer player from Villarreal, and they've had a few exits. So they do have a couple of really good players. Steve
Bergwijn, yeah,
Bergwijn,
he's good.
Brobbey.
Even Bobby impressed me last season in a couple of games.
So they do have one, two really good players. They've got a new coach from Nice. He's a bit defensive minded, so that's interesting considering Ajax philosophy of, that historical total
Yeah,
football,
yeah, Cruyff.
the Cruyff style. So
The thing is with them, really, can they be as bad as what they were in that, especially in that first half of last year when they were like flirting with relegation? They're not going to be that bad again. No chance.
yeah, the thing is,
Not
you
that
just don't
bad.
know. You just don't know how they respond to the new coach as well. So
But to be that bad, we go on a winless run and flirt with the relegation zone, I doubt they'll be that bad.
it's hard to say if they're not making any signings as well, especially prior to our game. That I don't think they'd be too happy that they drew us either. To be honest.
No, definitely. That I agree with.
I think we're probably their worst case scenario as well. So, um, yeah, but let's talk about Plivdov because I did do a recording a few days ago and released it on what I saw Botev Plivdov. So the first game is in a few days, so the 25th of July, Greece local time, 9 p.m. kickoff. They did knock out Maribor, which initially when you saw the drawing, you thought, okay, Moneyball should go through, but on paper, both teams had that equal transfer value. But when you look over both games, Botev Plidov, Moneyball, first game in Bulgaria, I thought it was a fairly even game. Botev Plidov won 2-1. The return leg, Maribor should have put that away. The game ended up 2-all. I think if you're looking at paper and quality with what I saw, we should be progressing. This should be easy fixture. Should not really have any speed bumps. There shouldn't be any speed bumps, anything. But we are Panathinaikos, and
When
we are
do we
going
ever do
through our
things the easy way?
we are going through our own issues as well. So especially with the lack of striker, the players, etc. New coach, new style, adjustments. So interesting one. Defensively, they play really like a flat four. Their keeper's very shaky. I think that's where their big weakness is, and their inability to track players as well, running through those middles. So I'm looking at like I said, I'm looking at Mancini to have big games, especially their movements. They use their two midfielders to really do a lot of that work. Very physical team. They do concede a lot of fouls there as well. So any set pieces outside the box as well could be big opportunities, especially with a what I deem as a weaker keeper as well. You'll see my analysis where they don't track players, they don't track runs as well. The second goal that Maribor scored, there was three players at the back post waiting for that header. Um, there was a couple of opportunities. The midfielder just ran straight through, almost got to a cutback. So there's a few things that is encouraging signs. I think there's also something on the Opta stats that we are 97% chance favorite
97, correct.
progressing. So even by those standards, this should be a straightforward match. We should
Should,
we should
should.
get a 2-3 goal lead going into Bulgaria with this one.
Look, I don't think we're going to underestimate them. We can't underestimate them. I don't think we will. I don't want to imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like if we go a goal behind. We really need a fast start in this game, especially playing at home as well with all the turmoil we've had in our own off season. We've got to attack them from the off,
Yeah,
prey on
early
those
goal,
weaknesses, and go after them.
get that early goal, settle the
Yeah,
nerves, build confidence from there. They do have a couple of pacey players up front. Ulja, their striker, the guy that came off the bench, Nigerian young player as well. He scored their first goal in the return leg and assisted in the second goal, but that was a shot turn pass. Um, so we just got to be careful on nothing too silly there. Nothing too silly. Just being mindful of our passing because Maribor conceded off some sloppy passing from their own defense and gifted the goal. To
which is a danger. The way we like to play now under Alonso, the players adjusting.
but the thing is, we've got the quality of players as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the big thing as well. Because when you look at if you look at transfer market as a guide in terms of squad values, Botev
Forty,
is about 11.85 million. We're sitting now at the 75 million mark.
40 on his own is worth more than him.
But even you take 40 out, we're still like
Yeah,
about
yeah,
a 50 million
yeah.
squad. So that talks volumes in itself. So on paper, we should be seeing Ajax in the next round in a tense match. We'll be playing them first leg at home. I don't think that's a bad thing playing first leg at home because the last two knockout games that we played first leg away and second game at home, we've been knocked out. So that was Braga, and that's also including Sparta Prague as well. Well, the last one in a knockout game we played
Nice.
home first was Marseille, so that's something I wouldn't worry too much about playing home first. There's no away goal rules, anything like that either. So that's another thing as well, sort of in our favor in that like in the AX game. They're not a team to be overly worried about. Yeah, they got some good players, 100% they do, but they're vulnerable as well. They've started their preseason with okay results as well. They're having a stronger preseason than us in terms of the opposition they're playing, but let's see what they do in an official capacity matches as well. They played Olympiacos when Olympiacos started their preseason, so
Yeah.
they won 1-0. So it's not really a real guide to look at.
You game enough for a score prediction for this upcoming game, Botev?
I'm not gonna do score predictions yet. My opinion is this has a proper Panathinaikos and a serious Panathinaikos team puts 3-4 on these guys. We should be putting 3-4 on these guys. And that's pure honesty, and that's what I've seen in terms of poor keeping, defensive line that plays a flat form that isn't really adjusting, tracking, anything like that. Midfielders that are bullying, trying to, concede a lot of fouls, cut the game down, slow the game down. That will suit them. If we go at them fast, there's no reason why we don't put up a scoreline. It's if are fit enough to maintain that
Yeah.
pressing style game.
We've got to go to Bulgaria with a lead, a comfortable lead for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Even away, like I said, the Maribor game, it was fairly even when Maribor played them in Bulgaria. The goals, all pretty much, I found all the goals pretty scrappy. There was not one goal that I thought, oh, that's a good team goal. That's an impressive piece of play. Maybe Botev's second goal, but that was bad defensive read by Maribor themselves. I can't see us making that much of a same mistake. Well, I do see them lining up in that 4-2-3-1 formation again, um, even when they come to Greece, but they'll operate definitely more defensive. And yeah, and as I said, the winner out of us will host Ajax
Oh,
Void
yeah.
for dinner. If we win, hypothetically, if we win this tie and we win the next tie, there's still one more qualifying round to go as well.
If that happens, though, we're guaranteed European football group stage or league stage.
Yeah,
If that
exactly.
happens, if we beat Botev and Ajax, guaranteed.
Yeah, so we'll either be we'll be in the Conference League group stage straight away, or if we beat Ajax or Vojvodina, we'll be playing. We'll be in the final qualifying round for Europa League. Obviously, preference is Europa League. You've got
Of
the money aspect,
course.
coefficient will help us as well. But Conference
Two,
League,
two extra games, Europa
yeah,
League. 8 games, whereas Conference League is only 6 games.
and for me, it's the money and a little bit more prestige as well. I'd rather be in Europa, and
For
that's
sure.
even if we could go say quarterfinals, whatever in Conference League. If we do that, I would. My preference is to go in Europa League, play against the better teams, get the money, just build ourselves for Europe again, get those coefficients and start building again.
No, for sure. You take Europa League all day long over a conference.
Yeah, the financial aspect in itself
Yeah.
much much better, and there's a big difference in the money received in between both tiers of the competitions.
Yeah. No, we just got to be, the key word is just ready. We got to be ready. Nothing stupid, no brain snaps. As you said, a serious Panathinaikos team, we take a comfortable lead to Bulgaria.
Exactly, exactly. So without 40 though, like
That's,
a goal
yeah,
scorer, a goal scoring threat, it's going to be interesting. Jeremejeff though does have the fitness, which probably goes in his favor. So yeah,
he'll
we should.
start.
Sorry.
He'll start for sure. Goalkeeper is up in the air. You're thinking Dragovski starts. Dragovski started against Maccabi Netanya. Right back, I think he's going to go Kotsiras. Left back, I think he's going to go Mladenovic. Centre backs, Jedvai Schenkerveld or Ingerson.
I'd say
Jedvai.
who knows? You might even get Jedvai Ingerson, but
That's what I think might happen.
that would be my preference, definitely.
Yeah. Midfield, Aral 6,
Yeah, Aral, Maximovic.
Bakasetas.
You'd have to go
Because
Bakasetas.
Sedin joined later. Yeah.
Yeah, and then your wingers will be
Mancini,
Mancini.
Aitor,
I would
no
rather
Verbit.
Limnios, but
Okay.
I think we're gonna see Juricic
Okay.
and up
And
front.
then Yeremeyev.
And just announced right now, if we fail to beat Botev Plivdov in terms of fail to progress, we'll be versing either Zrinski from Bosnia
Yeah.
or Bravo from Slovenia.
Okay. Zrinski Mostar. So Villa played them last year in the Conference League in the group stage. That'll be an experience and a half for our fans. The stadium, they'd been a cage in the away end. Insane.
But yeah, I don't see.
Look, I think we'll get through. I think we'll get through Botev.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I like I said, I've watched them play. I watched the highlights. I analyzed the. It's a straightforward match.
Should be straightforward.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to add on the football front, or
Football front, the only thing, final thing, the kits. Nice home kit. Really, really nice home kit. Massive fan.
yes, yes. You are right. They are both throwbacks. One was the 95-96 jersey, I believe, the kit, and the other one's more of like a 2004, 2005 template as well.
Yeah. And even the purple third kit we wore about 10 years ago.
So yeah, the third kit I'm not a fan of. I don't like
Me
the
too.
purple at all.
Yeah. Me too. Look, how often contractually we're going to be forced into wearing it 4 or 5 times probably throughout the season. That's about it.
I'd say yeah, in the cup games or something like that.
Exactly, exactly. It'll be the home I love. I haven't got one for a few years, so I'm due. I have to get one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the home jersey. So kudos to Adidas on that. The I wasn't mostly a fan of the away jersey, but I do love what they've done with the badge. So that kind
Yeah,
of
well, that elevates it from a 4 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10. Exactly.
yeah, exactly. So if you're interested, just type up on Lakers new jerseys, check them out for yourselves in that. We'll go head into the basketball now. So that one, you know, since winning the Greek championship, plenty has happened. So it looks like, yeah, both teams, it looks like Olympiacos is trying to obviously make some big moves to compete again. And they did compete, so that they want to obviously get to that next level. So Greek champions, assert their dominance there and push for Europe Final Four again. So um, while they're doing that, we made one major announcement in the signing of Lorenzo Brown from Maccabi. Huge signing. He was rumored to be going to Real Madrid, but we've come up and we've got him. So we've got now four effectively guards in that can run different plays. Kendrick Nunn has announced he's re-staying, so no NBA team picked him up. There was that option in the contract that there was a deadline if an NBA team was to pick him up. So that's also huge news there. The EuroLeague schedule did come out, so check it out through the PAO BC website. Also, if you're interested in the last season's jersey with the Acropolis, they've come back online to the Zakret website. That's the Panathinaikos BC official website for their merchandise distribution. Now, I did a little check. I know that they were only sending it within Europe, but I believe now you can buy that jersey when it becomes available for outside of Europe. I was just
Okay.
putting in my address here in Australia, and it was an option.
Okay. Because for the FC side, it's all in Greek, the website, but it worked for Australian addresses.
Yeah, yeah. Initially, though, when Adidas came on board, and I remember speaking to the people in the shop in Greece, they said they were updating the systems, so they couldn't send it out, the jerseys out to international. It was only within, I
No.
think, Greece or Europe, but so behind that. I think they opened that up later on. Um, Other good news in the basketball is the refurbishment of Oaka, seeing the vision that DPG is putting out. So the seat removals, updating the seats, having a world-class flooring similar to what the NBA teams have with the glass floor, where they're able to project graphics, videos on there. Be the first team in Europe to have that. Also, there's been a bit of a banter between Panathinaikos BC Ataman with
Yes.
can an NBA team call themselves world champions? Can a team that plays only within in one country and they're playing one game in Canada call themselves world champions, which is pretty funny. So um Panathinaikos on social media have called out Boston Celtics. Funny enough, both have the Trifili as their logo or some sort of association to come to Greece to play. Obviously, the Celtic has been a little bit more quiet, but there's been a bit of call out from the European fans as well about Celtics use of world champions, and so hopefully that will be good for the game if Celtics does come or if we get invited to play there. That will be good. And obviously, we do have the Olympics where we have a few of our players participating in the team. No Slukas. He was injured during the tournament for the Olympic Games spot. He came out and said he was not going to take a spot of a player that was fit and was playing in the tournament, so he's not in the squad. The Greece squad has been looking pretty decent as well in that tournament.
Yeah.
They went on a rampage, qualified with ease for the Olympic Games. Got drawn in a group of death as well with Canada, Spain, Australia. So very tough group there. Um, so we'll see how we go. But even in these games, we've been looking good. We've got Serbia up next as well,
Yeah,
so
friendly. Yeah.
we'll see how that goes as well. But yeah,
With the basketball, we don't have to worry, do we? No, it's like smooth sailing. We got Yanakopoulos. He'll take care of everything. We're on a good path. Stark contrast to PAO FC, isn't it?
yeah. Well, we did miss out on a couple of targets in terms of NBA players that are playing in the NBA. So we missed out on Vezenkov, who Olympiacos was announced to try and get him. He preferred Olympiacos, but he got traded to Toronto, and Toronto's not willing to let him go. So he's got at least 1 year there, maybe 2 years. So he can't move out. Um, there was Tease as well, who remained in the NBA. I can't remember the other name. So there was the Croatian Golden State Warriors center. So he was also linked to us, but that hasn't happened. But apparently, Ataman has been speaking to a few players that are on his short list. So that's one to look out for in that instance as well.
Signings will come there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not too
They'll,
worried.
they'll be flocking. Players will be flocking to play for us.
We've kept the core.
Yeah,
Obviously
exactly.
we lost a couple of just more string players, but nothing too much to worry about. But in terms of the basket side, complete opposite to the FC side. We're looking good. We've kept a good stable core there. We've got confidence in the ownership and the coaching staff. While the football side will forever be the bane of us, which we don't know what's going to happen. Um, we'll make the easy look hard and the hard look easy. We're not signing the players, then we announce players out of nowhere. So let's wait and see. So obviously we'll be live tweeting during the Botev Plivdov game. Once again, it is on the 25th of July, 9 p.m. local time, and our American contingent will be back next week to do the assessment of the game and the preview and any news that has happened there. Nick, would you like to add anything?
No, I think we covered a lot, didn't we? We
Yeah,
covered a hell of a lot. I don't think there's anything else to add. Just hope for the best. Hope we're ready for this first leg against Botev Plivdov. The Americans, as you said, they'll be on for their first episode to do a review of the first leg, a preview of the second leg, and we just got to be ready. The worst possible, as I said, scenario will be us conceding first in that stadium with a bad crowd. The atmosphere can turn very quick.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, we look forward to the first official game, and let's see what Panathinaikos will turn up, and will that be the benchmark for the rest of the season? Also, just want to do one shout out to our longtime listener and friend, Harry Hatzi, or he's known as Perry Hatzi, did get married, so congratulations, Perry. Uh, so hopefully he'll listen to this on his honeymoon if he's allowed to as well. But with that, thank you for listening. Follow our socials, all can be found through Linktree. We've got blogs there. We've got the social media accounts there. So give them a listen and share with your friends. Give us feedback. Send questions. Thank you.